What's going on, everybody? Professional wrestler Chris Wild live. Kind of an impromptu video as I leave the gym. I've kind of been thinking about some things all day long, and I figure why not throw them out here. Again, sorry about the lighting. Sorry about the fact that it's in a car. I really hate doing it like this. Last night, I think we all saw, at least football fans, and then after last night, the regular public probably saw it today on their Twitter feeds, about TUA Tagovailoa. Am I saying that right? I'm just going to call him Tua. And the concussion that he suffered was one of the scariest things that I've ever seen. His hands seizing was an image that you never want to see from an athlete. The week before, it was scary when he got hit and then started to walk, and his legs kind of seized up on him. This is something... The NFL has concussion protocols. Being an Eagles fan and having Carson Wentz as our quarterback for a while, and the concussion he got in the playoffs, and certain things, whenever a player is even in a questionable situation on the field, they're always taken out for a couple plays. They have somebody in a booth that looks at all that. I really don't understand how Sunday against the Bills, Tua takes that hit, can barely walk, and then is put back in the game later. I don't understand that at all with the concussion protocols and the independent neurologists or whatever doctors that they have on the sidelines nowadays. I mean, it's 2022. I don't get that. And then for him to be cleared, for that to happen on a Sunday and then Thursday be cleared to play is just unacceptable to me. But again, and I am a professional wrestler. Concussions are a major, major thing in the professional wrestling industry. As say what you want about professional wrestling. Say whatever you want about professional wrestling. The hits that are taken inside that ring, the impact that is taken inside the ring is 100% legit and real. Countless professional wrestlers suffer from CTE. Countless professional wrestlers have suffered from concussions. And back in the day, there was something that you were just dinged up. You got your bell rung, was what they said. I've seen it. I've seen guys in that situation that Tua was in, and it's scary. And it can affect a career. It really can. You look at Luke Kuechly. I mean, one of... I thought was an up-and-coming player that was already dominant as a linebacker, retires due to concussions. The fact that Tua went back into play started Thursday for the Dolphins is really scary because if, worst case scenario, after having a concussion Sunday and then getting hit Thursday and having what happened to him, it could have ended his life. Worst case scenario, could have ended his career. Now, he left the, I think it was University of Cincinnati Hospital. He left the hospital, got on the plane with the team. Apparently they didn't find anything and he's fine. Now, when the hand seize up, usually that's a neck thing. People on here that have neck injuries can probably attest to that. It's usually a neck injury. I think it's the upper neck. I don't know the names of all the discs back here, but it's usually the upper neck. It shoots down to the hands. I think the lower part of the neck going into the spine is usually where, if you damage that, you would feel it in your legs. So it's kind of odd that they didn't find anything there. Now, he wasn't, apparently, if you ask the Miami Dolphins, he didn't have a concussion Sunday. It was all due to the back. The NFL has got to do a better job at protecting the players from themselves. As an athlete myself, I can tell you, and I'm sure all these guys that are getting paid millions of dollars to do this can tell you, they're not going to be 100% truthful about their injuries all the time because these guys are prideful guys. They're passionate. The amount of work, especially these NFL players, put into their craft all offseason is unreal. It's unlike anything in any sport, probably. And nobody wants to sit out even a game or a series, especially the Dolphins. You look at he finally has a coach that knows how to use them. He's got weapons. He's playing out of his effing mind. So, if you ask him if he's got symptoms or if you ask him questions, he's probably going to lie to you. The NFL has got to have something in place to protect these players better because that situation yesterday could have been so much worse. And again, I don't know all the facts. All right, I don't know if he had the concussion Sunday, if he didn't. Maybe it was a back thing. I mean, who knows? To me, the hit that that was and of course the NFL and Prime Video wouldn't stop showing this horrific replay. I mean, it was just insane. The hit didn't look that bad to me. I think that the guy who hit him tried to kind of ease his fall a little bit. It didn't look extremely terrible to me, but again, I'm not playing quarterback for the Miami Dolphins getting hit by a guy that's 350 pounds probably. Carson Wentz, I remember against Seattle in that playoff game, gets hit by Jadeveon Clowney. I still think it was a dirty hit. We all wanted him to go back in the game. And he might have wanted to go back in the game, but he was held back. And I feel like it's something that the NFL needs to. I don't understand how TUA. And the Dolphins, look, man, the Dolphins organization's in so much shit right now with the Brian Flores situation, paying coaches to lose, apparently. I mean, these guys have a lot going on right now. So it doesn't, to me, this situation, it wouldn't surprise me if, they said, hey, TUA, they started asking him questions and did some tests and he was fine. They just said, okay. But on this, so that's my whole point in this, guys. I've been thinking about this all day. Somebody's got to protect the players from themselves, man. They have to. Nobody wants to see that, what happened. The injury part of football I hate it. I don't care if it's the Dallas Cowboys, if it's the New York Giants. I hate to see guys getting hurt. Sterling Shepard from the Giants, the injury that he had I felt so bad for this dude. He's a Giant. I hate the Giants. I mean, all he was doing is running. Apparently that turf is horrible, and he tears his ACL. It doesn't get touched. It's the worst part of football, and seeing what I saw last night was just terrible. And again, being a professional wrestler, I see a lot of guys getting hit, or a lot of guys hurting their head. What's going on? So as far as the Eagles are concerned, some bad news for the Eagles today. Boston Scott with a rib injury will be out. I love Boston Scott. He is the number 3 running back on the team, not a major injury. I'm excited to see Trey Sermon, if he gets called up in there. He is a bit of a bigger back, something I think that the Eagles, if he can be serviceable, if he can add anything, that would be awesome. But to me, Avonte Maddox with the ankle, that really concerns me. Avonte Maddox was playing so well. I'm talking like on a Pro Bowl level the past 3 games. The whole entire secondary everything was in sync. Now he's got to sit out, and that's a problem because the Jaguars have Christian Kirk, who has been just annihilating secondaries from the slot this year. The good thing for the Eagles is they got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. He's been playing pretty good at safety, his college position. Before that, he was one of the best slot corners in the league for the Saints, so I'm guessing they'll move him there. And then, unfortunately for the Eagles, they're probably going to have to put Kayvon Wallace in at safety. Just coming out of college, out of Clemson, I thought this kid was going to be something. He really hasn't shown anything. I was very annoyed with him when he got toasted by Tyreek Hill and kind of laughed it off after that preseason game. To me, this is his last shot, man. Like, dude, if you're going to live up to this promise, I know he's a 4th-round pick. What kind of promise do you get there? But please do something, because Trevor Lawrence is a quarterback that gets the ball out quick, and it's going to be all hands on deck. Again, I feel confident with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in the slot there. Darius Slay's still a little bit banged up. This is going to be a tough game for the Eagles, man. I felt it all week that this was going to be a tough game. I hope that the Eagles can stay away from all the national media now all of a sudden on the bandwagon. Jalen getting Offensive Player of the Month. I hope that they can honestly put all that out of their mind and look to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who they got a nasty defense, man. This is a defense that shut out the Colts, and I know it's Matt Ryan and the Colts, but they shut them out. They took Justin Herbert, who I know probably shouldn't have been playing that game. Justin Herbert going and beating up no Keenan Allen, but they held that team to 10 points. And it's going to be a rough game. It's going to be nasty weather Sunday with some rain coming in. So how the Eagles adjust to this, and Doug Peterson coming back home, Doug Peterson coming to Philadelphia, reminds me of Andy Reid when he came back to Philly, and he came back quick. I think it was the next year, like week 2, and beat the Eagles. So I'm definitely, man, this is going to be, and the Eagles this year, I'm telling you, it's like week 1, it was the Lions Super Bowl, right? Like that was their Super Bowl, trying to get that win. Week 2, you've got the Vikings that were crowned. They were kind of where the Eagles are now, and you had to deal with that. And then last week, I thought it was going to be the Carson Wentz Super Bowl. Like this game means everything to him, and they overcame that. Now this week, they're going to have to overcome Doug Peterson, because those players are going to want to win that game for Doug Peterson. Those players are going to hoist him up on their shoulders as they leave Lincoln Financial Field on Sunday. I can only hope that the Philadelphia Eagles players feel the same way about Nick Sirianni, where they're going to want to win this game for Nick, because Nick's got huge shoes to fill in Doug Peterson, who won us our only Super Bowl. I'm definitely not going to boo Doug. I won't be there, unfortunately, unless anybody got some extra tickets. But I won't be booing from home. At the same time, once the game starts, I'm going to want the Eagles to absolutely annihilate the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we'll see. It's going to be a tough task. I think the Jaguars, I'm standing here and I'm telling you, I'm sitting here and I'm telling you, I think the Jaguars win that division. I think they win the division. With the Colts in there, the Texans, and the Titans, I think the Jaguars are the best team. I think they're the best coach team. They got a young, promising quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. Their defense is nasty. The only thing that makes me put the brakes on about the Jacksonville Jaguars is they lost to Washington. After seeing the Washington Commanders last week, I don't know how any team loses to those guys. The offensive line is horrible. Carson is terrible. I don't know how Kendall Fuller is cooked on the outside in their secondary. I don't know how they go in there and lose that football game. That being said, guys, prayers up to Tua. I really I hope his health is okay. I would love to see him play football again this year. If that's something that can't happen, it's completely understandable. It's terrible when a player gets taken out that way. NFL, please protect these guys from themselves, man. Shouldn't have happened. Nobody wants to see a guy's hands completely seize up. You can only imagine how his family was feeling watching that. Chris Nowitzki, and I'll say this real quick before I go, former professional wrestler. He's now deals with CTE. He's a doctor, Harvard graduate. 5 hours before this happened, posted that if he gets hit again, that something like this could happen to his brain. You look to the long-term effects for this kid, this young, awesome football player. Probably shouldn't have played on Thursday. Is now going to have to. They got a long road ahead of him. And again, prayers up for him from an Eagles fan. That being said, guys, everybody stay safe, stay healthy. Go Birds. Sunday's going to be tough. See what happens. We're the only undefeated team in the NFL as it stands. And I saw a weird stat. I think since 2010, it might have been 2000, but I believe it was 2010, the last undefeated team in the NFL has been to the Super Bowl 10 times. I don't know. I'm not ready for Super Bowl talk yet, but we got a big test in the Jaguars. Go Birds. I'll see you later.